cheers to episode 146.
Sick.
Pineapple High Noon.
Why'd you open your can so aggressive?
Because I wanted it to pop in the mic.
I have water.
Water.
I have water as well.
I haven't drank on this show in some time. Maybe I should.
I think this is Evan's flu game performance.
Yeah. Nothing was as bad as me after the Big Ten championship game.
He's got this look in his eye. All right, let's get into it tonight.
Evan is not here right now.
We might have a first ever fall asleep on the show.
I can't see you guys, so.
Oh, really? That's brutal.
Yeah.
Tonight is Sunday, December 17th, 2023, 7:49 p.m. Eastern, 6:49 p.m. Central. You're listening to the number one all-around sports show in the state of Michigan. And sports depression, winter depression, has been cured after this weekend that we had collectively.
We just had a really good antidepressant drug this weekend. Who knows if it'll hold on?
A little Viagra shocked the system.
No, that's not an antidepressant. Grant.
Could it be argued?
I'm trying to think of what the name of the antidepressant drug is that everyone uses.
Isn't Ozempic's the hot one that makes people lose their appetite?
I gotta look this up.
And Adderall makes you lose your appetite too. While Alex looks that up, we'll talk about what we're going to discuss on today's show. It's going to be a smorgasbord of topics. Probably nothing too long on each topic, but probably a wide range of topics. Obviously, we'll have the Lions versus the Broncos from Saturday night. Evan, shout out his idea, a Christmas wish list, but sports edition. Lexapro.
Yep, it's a common one.
Christmas wish list. We have Michigan State hoops with a very dominant win that we should discuss. Normally we don't do game by game breakdowns in December, but it was a big win. And we just had a therapy session last week. So it'd be good to check in to see how that changed things. Speaking of green Kool-Aid, Aidan Chiles officially commits. On the Michigan side of things, we have, for those that couldn't guess, the Juwan Howard rumors were starting at the end of last week's show. We now have some more information about that. It's still very confusing, but we'll dive into it a little bit and what it potentially means going forward. I'd like to spend a couple minutes just on how atrociously bad the Pistons are because we've avoided them pretty good this entire stretch, but they're officially the laughingstock of the NBA and potentially one of the worst teams to ever play in the NBA. And then Alex, we'll discuss our show logistics, what we're going to do next week if we'll even have a show, but Alex can confirm not be here next week, so we need to get his final thoughts on the Rose Bowl, on Christmas in general. And then sprinkled with that, Bama made some news hiring a former Michigan staffer. That adds an interesting wrinkle to the game. So, before we get into weekly check-ins, don't forget to follow us on all of our social platforms at ShoutOutMS. Rate and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. And I think let's get into it. Alex, your week that was from last Sunday.
Just busy work week going into the holiday. That's really all that was. Didn't have much time to do anything special. I watched Spectre, for the James Bond movie. I'd never actually seen it. Hand up. I skipped that one. Why? I don't know. It was really good. Really enjoyed it.
Is that number 4 in the series?
The one right before No Time to Die.
That might be 5.
It's the last one before No Time to Die, I believe.
Royale.
It goes Casino Royale, Quantum Solace, Skyfall, Spectre.
4.
No Time to Die.
Yeah.
Great film. Enjoyed it. Also built a little entertainment console thing to go under my mounted TV. So the last 2 weeks have been a lot of living room progress. I don't have a headboard, though, in my bedroom, and I wanted your guys' take on that. Do you think headboards are needed?
Yes. Well, I mean, the real answer is no, but
Yeah,
I think
headboard,
they're
Evan?
nice.
I've never had one.
Ever?
I've never, ever had one.
Not. Trying to think. I can't remember your room in Skyview if it had one. No.
Did not have one.
Currently, no.
Currently do not have one.
I think you can see my bed right there. Yeah, just up against the
I think
wall.
it makes you more, like, I wouldn't say sophisticated, but your bedroom's kept up or you just pleasing to the eyes if somebody's a guest or somebody's walking in there. Like, oh, he's got his stuff together. So you
yes.
walk in there and you see a bunch of laundry.
Why would you say
Some
that?
people think yes. Some people don't even notice it.
There's nothing on my floor right now, Evan. I don't know why you'd say that.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm not accusing you. I'm talking firsthand. That's
just
how my room looks like.
So, are you going to get a headboard too? Then, if I get one,
No, I'm not getting one anytime soon. I could care less.
so all that, but then you don't want one. My
does
mom
not
says I
affect
need
me.
one. She's really pushing for me to get one.
She calls it
Gary.
a need. It's not a need.
No,
She said I need to get one. My sister said I need to get one. My dad said, "Who cares?" I'm more indifferent. I don't really.
Sounds like this is a male-female divide.
I had
Kind
one
of helps
in
with the pillows.
the berm.
Fall down the
Pillows,
The pillows
too.
can't fall though. I'm up against the wall.
Yeah,
I
but
forgot
I'm
you can't
also up
see
against
it.
the wall, and the bed still slides out away from the wall.
Mine does
That's a
not do
nightmare.
that. Do you not have carpet?
No,
Oh, that's
Mm.
I need to get a rug before I need to get a headboard.
in the berm.
Yeah.
Mine did not have a carpet under my bed, and that bed would slide all over the place. But it did slide all over the place, and I hated it. And I hated my headboard because it was squeaky. Like if I moved around, it would squeak. Not be yeah.
Oh,
Just when you roll
Yes.
over. You know, she tosses
Right.
and turns thinking about a lot
Right.
of things at night.
Right.
wrestling.
Back on topic. So headboard hot discussion because I showed my family my living room, and my mom just kept saying, "So do you have a headboard yet?" No, I don't. But you guys didn't really sell me on it, so I'm not really leaning towards it. Grant, you just said yes. Do you have any other strong opinions about it, or
It's just if you're gonna
person
get one,
makes you have
get
one?
no. Well, she wanted one. My only thing was if you get one, like get a tall one. So like if you wanted to sit up on the back of your bed, like it goes above your head, like a tall one.
They're
So
expensive.
if you sit, like you're fully up against it.
No, I get what you're saying.
I don't do that a lot, but it's just nice to be able to.
I would get one of the ones that are like cushioned, you know,
Yeah.
not like wood, because like a wood one, like what the hell's the point of having one of those? Can't even lean up against it.
No,
Just
it is
hurts.
nice. I feel like I can really burrow up into my bed because I have a cushioned headboard. I just really get in there up against it. Whereas a wall, you got to make sure you're not hitting your head on the wall.
Right. Which I've never worried about that. But have you ever smacked your head on the wall without your headboard? Never?
No,
All right. Sounds like a myth, Grant. And then other than
I don't
that,
wrestle on my bed, Alex, like some people do. So I don't have to worry about it.
I was talking about sleeping. Not wrestling. Wrestling, you're fully awake. I'm assuming you wrestle
Yes.
awake.
Some people might hit their head on the wall. I don't have to worry
Might.
about that.
Right. Right. Weird conversation. So yeah. I didn't do much, clearly. If headboards is the topic of discussion, I didn't do much this week.
That conversation reminded me of that one viral fight video that was sent in the chat where the guy just bangs his head off the glass and knocks himself out after a fight. That was so good.
That is bad.
So good.
This is psychotic.
This white trash city somewhere in Canada, probably. Evan,
What'd you do, Evan?
your week? Something crazy.
We can review a lot
Got
of work.
married.
Not get married.
Good joke, Alex. Classic. Attend a wedding. Oh, congrats.
Tuesday had a game. Came up short. Varsity played really well on Tuesday.
Opponent?
Wednesday, Thursday. Parma Western.
Oh, heated rival.
Huh?
Yep. And then I'm trying to think of what I did throughout the week. I don't think I really did anything special. No, I did not. Friday night, what did I do Friday night? I can't even remember. What did I do Friday night? I don't think I did anything Friday night.
Oh, we had one of
Saturday,
the most elite conversations of all time on Friday night.
That was Friday night. I was giggling so hard in my bed.
I
was
was
crying
crying hard
in
in
my
a
room.
Dude,
was
this was
crying.
funny.
I should have
Imagine if
recorded
that was a
conversation just so I could always have it.
Podcast conversation. If like just the full 5 of us were all
We'd
on
be
a
millionaires
podcast.
if that conversation was aired.
That was funny. But it's like a lot of inside jokes at the same time, though.
Yeah, you have to flash pictures on the screen as you were talking about said person.
That would be hilarious. If it's like a voiceover and pictures are coming up, that would be one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Just know if you were your name is probably brought up.
Saturday, I had to work in the morning. Went and hung out with my parents. Watched a little bit of the Michigan State game with my parents.
So you watched that
And
at
then
home.
I watched the second half back at my house, my place, my rental, whatever you want to call it. Got ready because I went to a wedding. I did not go to the ceremony. I went to the wedding reception and had a great time at the wedding.
It looked like it. I heard your singing voice,
Oh, I don't remember who took the video.
Colby.
I had so much fun and paid for it this morning. Shout out Emily and Josh for getting married. Thanks for the invite. Fantastic place. Reception was beautiful. It was at Adrian College. It was on campus.
Congrats
there.
to them.
They have like a Tobias Hall, I think it was called. Tobias Center.
Tobias Harris
Beautiful
Hall.
inside.
Wow.
Yep, that's what I said too when I
Jinx.
first heard that.
We like sports
Wait.
and we don't care who knows.
What was the? It was open bar. So what was the beverage choice? What were you rocking all night?
I started off strong because they didn't serve anything from an hour from 5:30 to 6:30. The bar closed for dinner and speeches and all that jazz.
So you had to get a
So
drink
I-
before the speeches, so you could have a drink for.
So I
toast.
started off with a Jack and Coke
nice?
and
and then beer all through the night. I didn't
As Sammy
throw in
Adams
another. I threw in a mixed drink when I shouldn't have. Way too late
Dangerous.
in the evening.
I was hoping you were going to go mix these all night.
I would have been better off though. I paid for it this morning. Such a great time. And then I reffed 12 basketball games this afternoon.
Another week, another 12.
Another week. Another
Jeez,
dollar.
Grant, cool your breathing down.
Is that you can hear me breathing?
It's probably
Yes.
because my nose is a little plugged up now because destroyed.
No,
my
I just
body
heard
last
Grant
night this
deep
morning.
exhale. Deep exhale.
Evan, do you think you missed a couple calls today reffing because of your behavior the night before?
Oh, absolutely. This morning, like the first 3 games,
These
I
youth
did
coaches
not,
are not going to want to hear this.
I did not jog or run up and down the court the first 3 games. I walked.
You're
everywhere.
a piece of shit.
I was
You're a real
eating-
piece
I
of
hadn't
shit.
ate anything. My stomach was like,
You did not earn your money today.
no, I was so freaking tired because I was like, oh, Evan, you have to get up in 6 hours to go ref 12 basketball games.
Not even
Time
pizza
to get
rolls.
home.
We got home after midnight.
I know you have corn dogs
Because
in your freezer.
They kicked everybody. I do not have any corn dogs right now.
Naughty
And
boy.
I finished off the pizza rolls. Thursday night, I was a disgusting slob on Thursday night.
Now we're talking.
We had practice like after school, so I actually had like an evening to myself, and I sat down and I made probably 30 to 35, maybe probably 40 pizza rolls, and I ate them all. Just watching TV. It was a disgusting amount of pizza rolls. And I just kept on shoveling them in.
40 pizza
40 pizza rolls is crazy. I used to eat like
I
20
don't
in
know
high
how many
school,
they-
and I thought
it
that
was-
was bad.
Ranch,
I
no
guarantee
ranch.
you it was more than 30.
I think the bag is like 60.
Well, I get one of those super mega bags, Alex.
Jesus Christ, Evan. You're too old to be eating pizza rolls.
Well, they're gone now. They're gone. 'Cause I had whatever's left in the bag. I just dumped them on the tray and threw them into the oven, and I know for a fact it was more than 25.
On this note of food, I did order. Yeah, I was feeling lazy this week as well. On Tuesday, I ordered ice cream. Ordered it. It was called like something like Cheaters Creamery. I got this.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't see the flavors or anything, so I just ordered one. It was called Cookie Monster. I was like, I'm sure that's good.
Yeah.
And it was like it was blue with like giant gobs of cookie dough and
I hate that.
Oreos.
You don't need to dive at ice cream.
I bought a pint and I ate the whole thing because I was told myself in my head, I'm like, if you're gonna have this, you can't eat this tomorrow, so you got to eat it all right now.
That's healthy.
Just like your pizza rolls, they're gone. Yeah, so one pint binge eating of it was fantastic. I destroyed it. It was incredible.
Other than that, 2 games this upcoming week, Tuesday and Thursday. Other than that, I have nothing really else. That's it. That was my week in review. Grant?
For me, I got a parking ticket this week.
Oh my God, I don't want to listen to this again.
that I paid for. I paid for my spot, so I'm currently in a dispute with the Pontiac Treasury's office because I was illegally charged by Officer E. Smith for parking when I paid for it. I had 20 minutes left, so I'm disputing it.
It was Jonathan Smith's brother. He knew you were a Michigan fan.
It could be. Maybe he brought him into town. That's the only thing like notable that happened during the week. And then Friday, Marissa hosted a party for her speech pathology friends from grad school.
Your friends?
They did my friends as well. Become my friends. Some of their significant others came.
You guys are old.
Good time.
You had a couple's party.
It was. Not everyone was a couple.
Every single one except one person whose boyfriend couldn't go.
Yeah, but not everyone.
Couples.
They did like a gift exchange. I was joking. We didn't end up doing it, but guys aren't one to plan gift exchanges like that because that's just a lot of work. And I was like, what if we just pass around? You pass your phone to the person to your right, and they can place a random $10 bet on your FanDuel account, and that's your Christmas gift. And then you just don't know what they picked. And you see if it cashes. We didn't end up doing it, but I thought that'd be a good instead of a white elephant, just pass your phone to a bro and let him place a $10 bet.
Just proving that you're a degenerate.
Imagine they build you a plus 3,000 parlay that hits. Like, Merry Christmas.
You're a degenerate, Grant.
Whatever, Alex. Paid the consequences of that party the next day, not to the extent Evan did, but was a little hungover, and made a huge blunder. Was cleaning up the morning after, ran the garbage disposal, and there was a shot glass in the garbage disposal. And it shattered. So I pulled out.
The shot glass shattered or the garbage disposal shattered?
Both, really. Shot glass shattered in half. I picked up the big bottom piece, but then there was a bunch of little pieces. So I spent probably 35 to 40 minutes with my hand in a garbage disposal pulling out little pieces of glass. And then it didn't really work, and it wasn't safe to run. So maintenance is coming tomorrow to whatever they need to do to fix it. So I feel like a POS because it's negligence on my part. I couldn't see the shot glass. I wouldn't have turned it on. It looked clear down there. Just sucks. It was very startling. So that's tough. Trying to meal prep today without getting things down the garbage disposal was very difficult. So needless to say, Saturday was a very lazy day. I think I napped at least at least once. Culminated in the Lions game, which was great. And then, Saturday morning, also went to Bob Evans, the mecca of breakfast. Good experience as always.
The Mecca.
Some would say
Big boy breakfast bar is still better.
Yeah, those go toe to toe. I will give you that because they have a nice
Brody
corned
calf.
beef hash.
Better.
Can't confirm that.
Brody calf
Never
omelet.
tried it.
Naughty, naughty, naughty.
It's a little absurd to drive nearly 20 minutes to a Bob Evans when there's a bunch of closer breakfast places around you, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Once or twice a year, make the trip to the Mecca. And then Christmas party, that was good. Today, had a family Christmas brunch. It was nice to catch up with cousins I haven't seen in a little bit. Everyone seemed to be doing well. It's at Pine Lake Country Club. I felt a little.
Mary.
I went no booze because I felt like I didn't deserve it after what I did to myself Friday.
Sure.
Got coffee, and then I saved a bunch of room for food. I had 2 full plates of like entree food and then 1 plate of desserts. It's pretty good. That's pretty much it. I think in the recap, we should just check in on fantasy football. It's a big time of year for everybody. I know Alex is buzzing. Evan is arguably in the more cared about bracket, the losers bracket, because the stakes are higher down there.
Yeah, but if I win
haven't
this,
checked
I'm
your team, though.
not to have to pay for it. If I win this matchup right now, currently, I have a good lead. If I win this, I'm guaranteed not to get last place.
I thought you guys said it wasn't like that. I thought you could lose like twice from here on out and still have to pay for the dinner.
Correct. You could lose. Correct. You could still lose. But, however, where I'm going to be placed if I win this one, I'll be up in the 7-8 matchup. And if I lose that one, then I go down to the 9-10. If I lose that one, the worst I can get is 11th.
Yeah. It's true, Rand.
Oh.
There's three stages.
If you win your
There's
first
3 different
matchup
stages.
of the
Some
loser
people that
bracket.
There's 2 people that if they win their first matchups, they're guaranteed to not get last, which is the winner of the 7-8 matchup round 1 and the winner of the 9-10 matchup in round 1. Those people are guaranteed not to get last place if they win.
Nice.
Everyone else up for grabs.
That is sweaty.
Now, because then 2 more people will also not be able. Then 2 more people won't get last place next week when they win their matchups.
Gotcha. All right. I didn't know that.
That
I
last
didn't
place
exactly know
matchup
how it worked.
in 2 weeks from now, it's going to get sweaty.
So even if McCrate wins this week, he's not
He
safe.
loses next week.
He's not
back in the
safe.
toilet.
He can lose.
Total.
Boom.
Oof. That's brutal.
McCrate needs to win next week, and he will guarantee not to get last. His team is actually pretty decent now, so I don't see him being in last place.
Njoku, wow, what a week. Alex was the 6th seed, last place into the winners bracket, and you put up probably the highest scoring output this year we've had in the league. Is that feels accurate? I'm sure Alex has looked it up.
I have not looked it up, thank you, but it does
feels
feel
like
accurate.
a stat. It feels like a stat you would make sure to have ready.
I do not have any stats ready about fantasy football, but I am making a meme at the moment.
Wow. Making a meme.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
So, Testy, next week, Alex and I will play each other in the semifinals, which will be good.
This is our 4th
Shot of Michigan
playoff
Sports
matchup.
Championship for all the.
But
Brown
Alex will
Reds.
be on vacation, so he may forget to set his lineup, which would be awesome.
I will not forget to do that. But, yeah.
And I'm on a bye week. Team had a good bye week, I would say. I don't think anyone has gotten injured from what I saw. I saw Kyler went down for a second, but he looked like he was back up. So we'll see what next week brings. You never know. But yeah, that's where this group is. And all things considered, not bad. Evan, a win for you would be huge.
Yep. No question about it.
I learned last year it's just a crapshoot because I was never been more confident going into a championship matchup than I was against Ben B's team, just based on paper, what it was supposed to be, and I got absolutely dog walked. And so I just know that anything can happen.
Ben and I were talking about this earlier about how like it's kind of funny of all the playoff teams that lost in the first round, that spent all their money. So now they have $250 plus the first round playoff exit.
Yeah, that's
all of it for nothing. So I was like, thank you for your money.
Coos $250 for sure. I remember I was looking at the spreadsheet.
I would also be pissed if I was Team Coup and you get to watch a team with a bye not even score 100 points this week and they're already in the semifinals.
Was that Levi's team?
Yeah, they're projected 90 right now.
Damn. And everyone's like filled out on the roster?
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, his team.
And shout out listener with the C Cody. The other Cody looks like he'll be moving on to the semifinals as well, from what I've gathered, what I've looked at.
And he gets to play Levi though.
Yeah. All right. I say let's hop into one of the games of the weekend. Lions Broncos, Saturday night, hot night in downtown Detroit. Evan, let's start with you. How much did you get to see of this game? Where are you at with this game?
I've seen a couple highlights. That's about it. I was at the wedding Saturday night. There was no TV, no nothing. Not even one person even had it on their phone.
That's a good wedding.
It's a good wedding. Having fun.
I did obviously saw all the box scores and read everything about it. But I still haven't really seen that many highlights.
Any gut reactions you have from seeing a few highlights or stats that may not be right, but we can verify if they were?
Gut reaction. It was great to see that we blew out a team that you're better than. And also when you're over the last month or so, we've been up to these huge leads and then we'd let the other team come back and make it interesting. So it was good to keep the gas pedal down in this game and just blow them out 42-17. I was actually more shocked that Goff threw for 5 touchdowns and we didn't have a couple running touchdowns.
Yeah, that was a good sticky stat that there was 5 tutties thrown.
I was shocked. I mean, the Broncos were going in averaging giving up 150 on the ground.
Yeah, they were one of the worst rush defenses in the league. You can't tell the story of the game from watching it all the way through without talking about how teetering we were on disaster in the first quarter. Overreaction, but with how the fan base came into that game, the Lions came out with a bold strategy, some would say, against that poor run defense, and they threw it 5 straight times, and they ran once. And I think over the first 10 plays we had, 90% were passes, and we had a gifted strip sack on a fumble. Well, not gifted, we earned that. Melifonwu decked him, and Bugs returns it past the 50 and couldn't even get points off of that. So the offense did look pretty pedestrian for the first quarter, and then a flip switched. Goff didn't look sharp in the first quarter, and then he hit a stretch where he just couldn't miss anybody, and everything was clean. I'm not sure really what happened, what you can attest to, but it was interesting.
Denver's a bad team.
I don't think Denver's bad.
They gave up 70 points in a football game this year.
Yeah, they did. But they did bounce back from that, and they had themselves in. Yeah, they still had themselves in playoff contention. They're not a bad team. They're an average team, I would say.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
Playing good football.
They've been better as of the last couple months, for sure.
Alex is just so sidetracked in his meme. He just loves
I'm sorry. Meme. It's funny. It made me laugh.
How did you make that?
I'm just
you did
really good.
Red's dog's head.
I know. I didn't mean to do that, but that's the only picture I found of him. He deleted every post he had on Instagram.
Oh. You just have to go to Facebook. Go to his parents' Facebook.
I was doing this live. I was trying to get it done. I was trying to get it out.
Yeah, I guess so.
Great,
Serious
you'll be in
question.
that chamber too. If you lose, just so you know, it'd be the
You're not
three of
making
you.
a meme. You're not making a meme for me.
I'll just add you into the picture.
I'm not making a meme for you.
Yeah, you just add them into it.
I'm just gonna add every person into the chamber. If I win it all, every single person's face is gonna be in that chamber. God, that'd be funny.
What's your big of a Taco Bell order is that going to be when you win the championship, Alex?
Incredible. You guys are all gonna benefit.
I might send you a DoorDash Taco Bell tomorrow, congratulating you. I'll send it on Wednesday. Congratulating
Alex, I'm just
you.
saying
That'd be so grand if you did that.
ceremony.
Oh, I will be
That's
going
your
to Taco
ceremony
Bell
win.
when I win. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not
Probably
not
get
the
two
champions.
Baja Blasts, 2 chicken quesadillas, some cheesy gorditas. We're gonna get after it. We got a long ways to go.
Ceremony.
It'd be super funny though if Alex did get the trophy and he like toured it around Houston like it was the Stanley Cup.
Put it in my living room. I'll get a trophy case.
No, like you go out to like meat barbecue or go to coworker.
No, I have
happy
a-
hours and you just bring it with you.
I have a parade. I hire someone to
that.
drive me around. I sit on top of the car with my trophy and drive around Houston.
Oh my gosh, Alex, you're going to have to fly in for the fantasy football.
If I win, yes, I will. Well, I
Or
probably
kicked out of the league.
might anyways.
Or kicked
Yeah.
out of the league.
or else.
I don't think that's happening, but back to the Lions scrap.
My question was, so don't look at whole career. Look at like you're starting a team tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
and you're building for the future.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to take a tight end. It's Sam Laporta, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Kelsey's on the back
Why-
half of his career.
is there anybody else that
Yeah.
even would be in consideration?
I think
Um,
Kittle would still be considered.
Kittle and Hawk are considered top 5, but I think age-wise, like
Kittle,
rookie
just
contract,
because of
he's
how
just
talented Kittle is with his blocking. He is a true two-way person. And I know Sam Laporta is working on that, but we don't really use him so much.
Yeah, it's definitely Laporta. I don't know how it would be anybody else.
yeah, I know people tend to overreact to your own players, but I was sitting there thinking, and I was just like, yeah, I mean, if I was trying to win a title, in like a 1-year stretch, maybe it's still Kelsey, but if you were trading me long term, like I don't think if the Chiefs came to the Lions and they said we'll give you Kelsey for Laporta straight up, the Lions are saying no,
Yeah.
which is just a wild thing to say.
I don't know if they're
Rookie
for sure
contract.
saying no, but yeah, they'd probably say no. Also,
I say
question
no.
for you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had a question.
NFL
too.
related.
Go ahead.
Is it true that the salary cap's going to go up by $24 million next year in the NFL?
that I do not know.
No idea. But even if that's
I like
true,
the
that's
sound.
only like one huge big new signing.
Yeah, but I'm just saying 24 is dramatically, like a lot. It's one big
a
signing, or
superstar.
you could 3 or 4 solid role players.
Yeah, that's
But
interesting.
the thing about the cap that we have to remember about the cap is fake. The cap's not real.
Also, well, it is
True.
real. Also, but
The 40 no,
if the salary cap
49ers just
goes
sign whoever
up-
they want.
shut up, Grab. Salary cap's not fake.
It's true. It's fake.
They do because they know how to use and maneuver it.
They just do the Shohei Ohtani.
If the cap goes up, Evan, inflation, just a bunch of players are just going to get paid more too.
Yeah, Evan, who wins the election?
Yeah, I
for
get
the president
that,
next year?
but
Like you're just going to get Tyreek
we
Hill
also
demanding
have cap,
$500
we still
billion
have cap
a year.
remaining right now. But we're going to have players leaving. Our cap's going to be, I'm just saying our cap's going to be ginormous.
I have a
Tyreek
question.
Hill, I heard he's
especially
sitting out next week too.
Especially when we cut Decker's.
He might. Don't even need him.
Evan, you can't just slip in. We're cutting Decker's ass. I will not let you
Yeah, we
get
are.
away with that.
We're cutting.
He slipped that in at the end of that sentence.
Vitai's gone. And we'll probably get out of Vitai's contract just because it's an injury. I think he's a 100% free agent, but if not if injury, medical, retirement. So
I'm just now reading this conversation from Cody with a K. Evan, your thoughts briefly. Patrick Mahomes in some fairy tale land is available.
I'm not in this conversation.
I know you're not. That's why I'm asking you.
Oh,
He asked us about a Mahomes trade.
Which, Cody, I know you're going to be listening. That will never, in a million years, he's never getting traded in the next.
I'm just wondering what came up like a couple hours after their win against the Patriots. He was like, "What if we got Mahomes?"
It makes no sense really where he came up with it. Cody threw around Goff, Hooker, and 3 firsts, which would not even remotely be close enough to what would be needed, in my opinion.
Goff and what for Patrick?
Goff, Hendon, Hooker, and 3 first round picks. Like if you could do that, you would do it, of course, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're all in agreement that's not a realistic price. Grant threw around this trade. Would you do it? Sam Laporta.
Oh.
Panay. Brian Branch.
Hutchinson, because there's no point in having him.
Laporta, Sewell, Branch, McNeil, Goff, 3 first-round picks.
No, because I want Hutchinson in that deal so we can keep somebody else. Keep Sewell. Throw in Hutchinson and keep Sewell nice. It's a deal.
No, throw in Hutchinson and McNeil. Are you doing it?
What? That's more. Yeah, Hutch for Sewell. Evan does it. Grant said he would multiply this deal by 4. Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 5th-round pick, which was what was traded for Russell Wilson. So Grant would take that and multiply it by 4.
That's how I came up with my answer.
Yeah,
so Laporta, Hutch, Branch, McNeil, Goff, 3 first-round picks, maybe another late pick back in there. Would you do it?
I think teams would want more picks than the players. I mean, we are giving them like our entire core,
just our whole young core,
pretty much.
I would do it though.
No way, Alex.
Yes, I would. He's the best quarterback in the NFL.
Well, actually, let me read you this stat.
Is like
he has Matt Nagy right now. Doesn't count. Whatever you're going to say, it doesn't count.
This stat about our
his
quarterback.
Receivers are so shitty too in Kansas City.
Our stat about our quarterback, the franchise, Jared Goff. This stat from the Lions PR, who's been doing God's work, just pumping us up, will blow you away. It'll blow you away because it goes back quite a long time. No, it'll blow you away. Should I read it off, or should I ask you questions about where you think he ranks? Should I make it spicy and make you guess?
Like, let's get into this.
All right. So this is since 2017. You know, that's a long time ago. That's 6 years ago.
Keep going.
Among all quarterbacks in the NFL since 2017, Jared Goff ranks in a couple statistical categories. We're going to play a guessing game. Let's start with passing touchdowns. We'll start bad.
9th.
Passing touchdowns?
Passing touchdowns.
You got to think, since 2017, how many QBs are still playing?
All QBs.
But there's a lot of ones.
I'm gonna say 5th.
6. Good guesses, boys.
Thank you.
Completions.
Check down Goff. 3rd.
I'm gonna say 6th.
2nd.
Oh, we're all over this.
All right. Now maybe we bring it back down in 20+ yard completions. So airing it out.
7th.
14th.
1st.
No.
I lied. It got better. Yep.
That's a shocking stat. I'll give you that one.
Well, we got to humble him, right? We got to humble him. Passing first downs. Moving the first down chains by passing the ball.
1st.
3rd.
1st. The best to do it.
You're not fooling anybody, Grant, this time.
All right. Last one. But think quickly about this one. in passing yards in the entire NFL since 2017.
Third.
He's up there. Yeah, I'm going to say fourth.
Yeah, he's up there. He's first. He's the best to do it since 2017. This man.
He's probably played the most games since 2017.
Don't find loopholes. This guy's playing.
I love
stat.
Jared. I do.
Crazy stat. Not to nitpick Stafford, Evan. You might want to plug your ears for this. Jared Goff just became the first quarterback in Lions franchise history to throw for 25 plus touchdowns in back-to-back seasons. Never been done before by a Lions quarterback.
Not surprising. We've never had a good one. Just kidding.
That was me now.
Disrespectful, Alex.
That was a joke.
I was stunned that
Joe.
It was Ford Field for a playoff game.
Yeah.
Now Stafford did get hurt, so he would have broke that. He would have had that, but I was stunned to see that come across by Lions PR, who again is doing God's work, pumping up our players. Because I'm
Evan, question for Evan. Question for you both. Since we're talking about the franchise, Jared. Would you guys let Jared walk this summer if it meant that you get Matthew Stafford back as quarterback?
No. I got to double check their ages, but that feels like a no.
Stafford's like 10 years older than him, Grant.
Yeah, I think no.
Evan? There is a listener of this podcast who consistently listens. I mean, we're talking a weekly listener.
Don't get me wrong. Matthew Stafford is my quarterback.
He said today, I would do unspeakable things to get Matthew Stafford back in Detroit next year. And then I'm going to send you this throw that was sent to me. And why this text occurred.
Stafford can still sling it. He's still an elite quarterback.
No one's denying that. Yes, it's just his down moments. I know it's bad.
Jared's down moments are also pretty bad. Watch that
Jared's
throw.
down moments.
Watch that throw, Evan.
Off to quit playing football.
Well, that's just our fan base.
Correct. Michigan State. God damn, Stafford's a good football player. Leaning back, just look at that.
Whips it to the
You want one
sideline.
below it.
Yeah, he sent me both of them.
Stafford still has one of the best throws in NFL history against the Chiefs. I know he lost it, but that's window throw.
What about the no-look throw in against the Bengals in the Super Bowl?
What about the no-look
up there.
Super Bowl winning quarterback Matthew Stafford.
Oh, God, I still love Stafford.
And his talent is tantalizing.
Yeah. I'm not doing it.
And he wouldn't be in Ben Johnson's offense, though, because Ben Johnson won't be here. He'll be in a Dan Campbell offense, which just run 75 times.
I don't like having to make these choices like this.
Answer the question, Grant.
No, I told you I wouldn't do it.
Okay. Evan, you would not either.
I don't. Well, cap-wise, I don't know which one would be cheaper.
Let's say they cost the exact same amount, and you only get them for 2 years. Either one.
I think I'm keeping Goff.
Because they're probably about the same cost.
Yeah. I think I'm keeping Goff.
Stafford's more injury prone. He gets injured a lot. It's tough, though. It is. I wouldn't do unspeakable things to get Stafford here, though, to answer that question.
I got my
No,
satisfaction
I would-
of Stafford winning a Super Bowl. Kind of.
But
like
Evan, how jacked up would you be if Stafford returned to a playoff team?
You'd be standing
You'd be
outside
a-
Ford Field watching him, waiting for him to come.
Oh my God.
Oh my God!
The Matthew Stafford ass tat right on my right butt cheek.
It'll be huge. Huge.
What was my other question I had? Oh, because you know how our fan base online, this tortured fan base that doesn't know how to handle a winner, is everyone flipping back to we're fully back on the train, or did anything change big picture wise from smacking the Broncos around?
For us or for our idiot fans?
For you personally,
I still don't think this team. It's tough because Dallas got today, so it makes you think. Well, maybe. But unless the Lions get a 1 seed, just not going to happen. Yeah, I just don't see them getting to a conference championship game. Would I be shocked if they got to a conference championship? No. Would I be stunned if they made the Super Bowl? Yes.
We can beat Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm not in that camp yet, but we'll know in 2 weeks.
Technically, Dallas.
I would.
Philly. We would have to play freaking the 49ers.
Still 4 weeks left if things hold serve. I mean,
a lot can still happen. If the Lions put up 4 straight 42-17 wins, I'm going to be all in again. I'm going to think they can win the Super Bowl.
I need to see our defense
be
improve
against
over
some
the last
big
3
teams.
weeks.
Oh, Evan,
the problem is
you would have loved the defensive back blitzes that we were throwing out last night.
We blitzed a lot last night. It was wild.
I loved
that
Saturday.
We brought Melifonwu from 20 yards off the ball, and he just came in like a rocket.
It makes sense.
Brian Branch smashed Russell Wilson. Vildor, the new unsung hero of the defense.
Khalil Dorsey. I mean, we got new guys you got to brush up on. We started a different secondary. It's wild.
But Evan's going to be roughing basketball games.
I will say, and I don't want this to come off as mean to him. It's just internet comedy. All the memes that people were posting about how our defense evolved ever since Jerry Jacobs doesn't play anymore were making me die laughing. They were just like highlight tapes of LeBron. It was the Legion of Boom. Someone took a Legion of Boom mixtape and was like, the Lions ever since Jerry Jacobs got benched. I was giggling to myself.
My parents and my brother got to go to the game. And that was the first thing my dad said. He's like, I cannot wait to cheer, like to boo Jerry Jacobs. And he's like, and he can hear me because that's how close we're sitting.
Oh no.
This is what he was looking forward to the most.
Luckily, he didn't have to see him. Probably on special teams, I think, is when he hurt his hamstring, I think, and then he came back in the game for special teams. But the memes were funny, and that's not personal to him. They were just funny.
That's rude.
Gibbs looks like a Hall of Famer.
Shootout gang will never die. Yeah, it's kind of stupid that he still doesn't get more touches. It's just, I think, Grant, you summed it up perfectly that a Montgomery 8-yard run is a Gibbs 28-yard run, and I just don't get. I mean, I get it. You gotta like yin and yang them a little bit, but like it should be dead even, if not more, to Gibbs. It should not be 16 to 10 carries. Montgomery's a good running back. Gibbs is way better. I need more.
Different styles, Alex.
Well, selfishly, you do need it.
Gibbs is a better all-around running back in almost every way. The only time I'm giving Montgomery the ball over Gibbs is a 1-yard goal line run. And even then, I feel very confident giving it to Gibbs.
Even then, a pitch play to Gibbs is just gets it done too.
Ragnow played, and we ran the ball.
Starting offensive line, we looked at. I determined Ragnow is the key. He's the key.
He is, because our run game is incredible again the second he comes back. Just gashing them for like 7 yards a pop.
Oh my God. Anyone could have ran through the holes.
Yes. We would have had productive
our whole
days
offensive
on the
line.
ground. Even Grant's quicksand feet would have had a productive day.
Jamison Williams' juke move was one of the nastiest things I've seen on a football field. It was disgusting.
It was. I saw a line. I was like, there's no way he did that.
Laporta's juke stiff arm for a tutty. I mean, they're just...
It's kind of ridiculous, Grant. On our Instagram post, you did not put a Gibbs highlight. But whatever. He had 2 touchdowns. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, but I had him celebrating with a Monroe. Like, his touchdowns weren't crazy. His one run was crazy that he didn't score on. That was an absurd run.
I don't know. Every time he runs the ball, he looks like he's shot out of a cannon. And his route that he ran on his receiving touchdown was crisp.
His 40-yard run, whatever, out the right side looked like Barry Sanders.
He's insane. He is insane.
This man, he only had like 10 carries.
10 carries
going into
for 100 yards.
Going into the fourth quarter, he had like 11 yards per carry. Gibbs
is ridiculous. He is as legit as we all thought. Well, as I thought. Also, I need to admit something.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I said Laporta would have at least, or like only have like 6 or 7 touchdowns this year, and he's blowing that out of the water. So hand up. I thought he was going to be really good, and he has blown it out of the water. He's just too good. He's better than what I said.
Actually, you did predict that Jahmyr Gibbs would have Alvin Kamara stats.
Yes.
I think that was me.
No, I
got to
think
see if he's close to it.
I
I said he had to do that because
I said Laporta would have some wild stats, and you guys gave me some pushback, and he has already surpassed those. So,
no, I think I was in on Laporta. I drafted him in fantasy football for $3 and got laughed at.
Evan, how do you feel about the draft class now, even though you were kind of a hater when it started? You can still hate on Hendon Hooker. You still have that.
I still hate Hendon Hooker. I hate that pick still. I don't want to say I hated the draft class. I was more
you were very pissed off. You were very pissed off.
Correct. I was very pissed off at just the players that we not the talent of the players that we took, just where we took them and positions that we did take them.
If we redid the draft, would you do it different? The first 2 rounds.
I would have done the last two years differently.
So you wouldn't have taken Gibbs and you wouldn't have taken Laporta.
Alex, who would you rather have right now? Would you rather have Kyle Hamilton, Jordan Davis, or Jameson Williams?
I'm talking about this year's draft. But, I mean, yeah, at the moment, I would say between those 3.
How's Kyle Hamilton? He's like the best safety in football.
I would go with Kyle Hamilton. Yeah, he's been pretty good. So.
People don't forget that was my surefire Hall of Famer when we asked the question before the draft.
I mean, I said Micah Parsons drafted an edge rusher.
So, Evan, this year's draft, Gibbs was our first round pick, right? We only have one.
Gibbs and Campbell.
Gibbs, Campbell, Laporta. Gibbs, Campbell, Laporta, and Branch. Would you have not drafted any of those and drafted someone else?
Branch was sick last night, too. God, he was good.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I honestly don't think I would have drafted Gibbs just based off of like the NFL running back style.
Well, who would you have drafted in that
any
spot?
Defensive player that was available right then and there?
No, Evan. Right now, you know how good they are.
You would have took
Carter.
I would have drafted Gibbs still.
He does have a touchdown this year, so you have to give Jalen Carter that.
Yeah, he's good, but
hard to compare.
No Gibbs. Barry Sanders.
Defensively, Pascal had a nice game. Had a sack at least, stood out to me.
You said he had a nice game because he made one good play.
It was a really impressive interior pass rush that we haven't seen from this team in a long time. So, yes, I was like, wow,
it helps
that's
that
what
we
it feels
blitz
like to have someone get through the middle. I don't know. I thought it was all around good. I think it's dumb as it is, and I still think we should have made more moves, but you can tell there's a little bit more pop on the defensive line when Bruce Irvin plays, which is crazy to say because he's like 37 years old. But
he knows,
it's
he knows
a
how to
little
rush
bit
a
better.
Passer. He does. He's a good pass rusher.
And obviously, the less mobile quarterbacks we get, the better we look. That's why I'm really confident about these Vikings matchups with Nick Mullins. Like, that was huge. Them benching Josh Jacobs was huge for us as a team.
Because Nick Mullins cannot move. About?
What?
Our corners against Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. That's not going to go well.
Oh, it's just going to be an Addison show. They'll take away. Well, they won't take away him, but they're gonna.
We can't take away Justin Jefferson. He had like 250 yards receiving against us last year.
Well, Okudah clamped him in the first meeting. People forget that. Okudah clamped Justin Jefferson.
And then Jefferson had 300 in the second game.
Yeah, but if Nick Mullins doesn't have time to get it off, then there you go. I really think, I know people like to win championships and divisions at home. Winning the North at Minnesota during their winter whiteout game, taking it away from the team that just won it last year would be an awesome scene. Oh, that means we're wearing blue, guys. We might wear all blue next week.
We're all blue this week.
Whiteout games are they freaking having?
They're doing like an annual thing. So the game like closest to Christmas before Christmas. Last night we did. I think we'll wear them again this week.
No, our color are gray. We wearing those? With the blue helmet.
Where he won?
Yeah, in the against the Vikings at the end of the year.
Oh,
at home.
Because I knew we were wearing them twice.
Yeah, we're probably wearing all blue to clinch the division. I hope we win. Also, not to divide the fan base more, but I had, Alex deleted Twitter. I'm still on there. I'm still seeing what the pulse is. All the SOL fans last week that were like, oh, watch Green Bay come back and take this division from us. Okay, you didn't even deserve to watch last night.
Well, you know what they
Because
did? They lost
in
the
this team.
Giants and Bucks, so they're sick.
And they officially are eliminated from North contention now. They can't win the North. So that's all I have to say about that. I believe in this team, and I bet them accordingly. A Monra anytime touchdown. I should have had Cortland Sutton. I bet both 14s to score, and then I did alt spread -5.5. I should have done -9.5 because I would have got juicy numbers on that. But
Grant has a gambling addiction.
I do not. It's only an addiction if you lose. Let's do Wishlist for last. Let's move to MSU hoops. Stay on the good vibes. What a win for you guys. Does it change? How much does it change? Does it
actually,
realistically in the grand scheme?
Not much change. Big Ten's ass, so you should be top 4 in the Big Ten theoretically. Talent wise, coach wise, that's just what it is. It kind of just pisses me off a little bit watching that team because it's like basically it's like what the F? Where the hell has this been? And for the broadcast said this, where has this Michigan State been?
I'll
So
tell you
it's kind of
I've
what.
said that a few times.
Back up against the wall, so
What has changed is that now we fully know that this team can be everything we wanted it to be. It can be. They proved that. Whether they will be, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to come out like that
we just
every
need to
single
string
game.
games together, like impressive games together. And I know we are non-conference, so we not really. I think we play tomorrow against like Stony Brook or something like that.
Play Oakland.
Oakland. I got it pulled up for you. It's 3 non-conference butt games until Big
Oakland's
Ten
kinda
play
decent.
January 4th.
They beat someone
They are
good this year, and they lost
All
Ohio
right.
State by 1. They're not actually bad. Check their
All right.
games.
They lost to
They're actually
Toledo
not a
and they
bad
lost
team.
to Purdue.
Rocket Watts.
They lost to Purdue. They lost to Purdue Fort Wayne by 21 points.
Beat Xavier.
They beat Xavier.
They did beat Xavier.
They almost beat Ohio State.
They lost by 6.
They have Rocket Watts.
Are you guys saying you're nervous? What are we?
We play Oakland close every single year because we play them
Plays
every
Oakland
year.
every single year.
Yeah, that's sorry.
I remember that stupid matchup.
Would you say though? Are you still to the point though with this team where yes, they did show you what they're capable of, but it wouldn't surprise you if in the second Big Ten game at Northwestern they lose by 10 points?
They're not going to
Yeah.
lose by double digits. They haven't done that all year. They did. They lost technically by double digits to Wisconsin, but that was a 3-point game. This is not a team that gets
Arizona.
blown out. They didn't lose by
Robbie.
double digits. They lost
I
by
don't
6
remember
there.
what we
So
lost
Kept it within there. They kept it within. All right, so they lose by 5.
in fact, Grant, I know you're going to be
I will be
hated
pissed
because
if we lose at Northwestern.
we lose at Northwestern every
top
year.
25 team. Top 25 team this
3
year.
of Michigan State's 5 losses, they've led with 3 minutes left in the game. So what this team's problem is closing. They didn't have to close this game. So
Yeah.
we still didn't
Get off to a good
learn if they're capable of closing at the end. And that's something you have to find out because there's going to be a lot of close games in the Big Ten. We're going to be close with every team we play because of the defense that we play. Our defense is legit.
Were you guys nervous at all about a second half comeback? Because this is a dynamic going on here that I wanted to touch on because it was crazy.
When we started the second half with like 5 straight turnovers and it got to 20, I think that's the closest it got was 20 because I rewatched the highlights this morning. I'll be honest, I was not nervous that they were going to come back and we were going to lose the game, but I was getting pissed that they were playing like shit for 5 minutes. But No, I never thought they would lose when they were up 45-15 at one point. I was like, there's no way we're going to lose this basketball game when that happened. But I'm sure Marissa probably thought that.
Yeah, I didn't know if it had like broken the whole fan base, like the recent stretch, but she's like nervous in the start of the second half, like yelling. I was in the other room and I'm like, I'm not like listening to a word you say until it's within 10 points because it's not a game.
I told myself the only way I would even remotely panic is if they got to 10. And yeah, that was never going to happen. I never got below 20.
Give me to halftime. Give me to halftime at one point because I know if they get to halftime with a ginormous ass lead, it's over.
When we were in the first half,
everyone was like that.
I was like, we have to keep it above 10 because if they get to 10, it's just like a brand new game. We'll probably lose. So there were still doubts. There's still fear. Just so you know, Ken Palm update for you guys after this win. Big boost. 22 in Ken Palm. A 500 team, 5-5, 22 in Ken Palm. That tells you all you need to know. Top 10 defense in the country.
Can I make an unbiased comment that's going to be labeled me as a hater, but it's just a thought that I had?
Yeah, you were a hater with the second I talked to you after the game.
I did say this to Alex. I just am curious to see how good Baylor is in Big 12 play. Like, I know they're a talented bunch, and maybe it was just an off shooting night, and also credit to Michigan State's defense for being swarming. But they didn't seem like a Baylor team in the past, 5 years. They just felt different. I don't know I don't know if it was less length or what, or no guy that's going to be in the NBA, but
they had 2 7-footers and a 6'6" forward that hits threes at a 40% rate.
Yeah, but
it's impressive to beat any Power 5 team with that caliber to that level, so I will not take that away. But I am curious, if you told me Baylor finishes 4th or 5th in the Big 12, I don't think I would be that surprised.
I think, Grant, what helps us was Baylor's post players are just like Michigan State's post players.
Yeah, they don't have
back to the basket
post moves.
Post players.
But Evan, we haven't been losing this year because of that.
I get that, Alex. I 100% get that. But I'm just saying, teams that we struggle against or reasons why our post players struggle is because they have to freaking defend. They have to play offense and defense.
Oh wow! Here's a good test too to see how they bounce back. They had to play at Duke on Wednesday at Madison Square Garden.
So not at Duke.
We'll find out a little bit then. Not at Duke, but as an away game at Madison Square Garden. All right. If they play Duke tough, Baylor's legit.
I think
I'll concede it.
To close, to echo what Evan said. It's very frustrating that that's what we saw. But now that I'm thinking back to all the games we lost, we went down double digits in all of those games. We would have a stretch of 7 minutes of miraculous great basketball where we'd tie the game or take the lead, and then we'd poop out. Mm-hmm. This time they just started the game with that, and they carried that momentum the rest of the game. So if this team could just not start down 17-4 like they do every single game,
we clearly know who our best player is on the team, though. And it's Tyson Walker. You got to get him his early. You got to
get pinned down, so you got to get him open looks.
Crazy to think we had debates last year about who was more important to the team, Hogard or Walker, because it's pretty clear who the correct answer was.
It's Tyson Walker. Dude's average.
The question of who's more important, if AJ plays like absolute dog shit, it's a guaranteed loss. And that's just true.
Jeremy Fears is capable.
If you took Walker off the team and AJ played like an All-American, it's still not going to be the peak of what it could be if Walker's good.
Well, the peak of what it can be is because of the two of them together. That's the truth. And everybody knows that.
I'm team Jeremy Fears. I'll ride with
You guys can shit on AJ all you want. The last 4 games he's played, he's been actually the guy that everyone thought he would
I'm just saying Tyson Walker is more important. I'm not shitting on AJ Hogard.
I just think you take AJ away and that offense is going to be worse because Tyson's not going to get as many open looks. He's still going to score 20, but you might not be in every game.
You don't call Jeremy the floor general for nothing.
Jeremy Fears is going to be a great basketball player. He's not at AJ's level yet. And I understand fully why anybody would hate AJ. Yes, when he gave the too small up 30 points to a kid, I was like, yeah, I can see it.
I would say when Hogarth Cooper was wide open and Hogarth passed him a ball, driving while Cooper was flashing down the middle lane, hit him in the face. He didn't catch it.
I was so pissed about that. I was furious. Yeah. And I was like, someone's going to say that it's an AJ turnover right there.
Did you see the end of the UNC Kentucky game?
No. I did not see
it's worth going back.
Game was at 5 p.m., Evan.
Add it to your reminder list. All-time college basketball player reminded me of that. UNC came down. They were only down 3 with like 15 seconds left. They just crossed half court. Point guard throws it to the wing to the player getting set. He just wasn't looking. It hit off of his ass and then was a backcourt violation. It was one of the funnier things I've seen.
Cut out.
Worth a watch. It's hard to
his ass. So
backcourt violation. Off his butt. Wasn't looking.
Backcourt violation.
To tie the game.
I have one question about Michigan State basketball for the two of you. To close.
Yeah, Final Four or bust.
Well, I still think that I feel that way, to be honest.
I know you do. Anyways, ask your questions.
Do you think, Evan, that yes, they're in an 0-2 hole. Mind you, Purdue is 1-1. Can Michigan State win the Big Ten, and would it surprise you if they did?
Can they win it? Yes. Would it surprise me? Yes.
Is it top 4 or bust in the Big Ten?
Yeah.
Grant?
Big Ten's not good at all this year.
Your non-biased, super biased opinion because you hate Michigan State and everything that we stand for?
No, I'm excited to see you guys. You play Purdue once this year.
Yeah, not till late.
In Mackey.
Because I did catch some of the end of that Arizona game. And while I do think your guards are going to give Purdue guards more fits than Arizona, like Caleb Love's not known as a lockdown defender by any means, but it looks like those white guards from Purdue have grown a little bit. And there's a real dog in Braden Smith now.
Braden Smith,
that guy looks like a
Fletcher's still.
Last year he looked. Yeah, last year though, Braden looked a little. He was a true freshman playing last year. He looked a little like gun shy at times. He was doing ice in the veins, hitting big shots down the stretch. He looks like a dog this year, so I am curious to see how that plays out. I'd be the same as Evan, where they can win it. Yes, they have the talent to. Would I be surprised at this point? Yes, because I think like Edey is still an X factor. Like, what are they going to do down low with Edey?
And then second question: will Michigan State make the tournament? Evan?
Yes.
Grant?
Yeah, I think they will.
That's a huge resume boosting win for all the tournament haters.
If people actually thought we were going to miss the tournament after starting whatever 4 and 5,
if we were,
but Evan,
4 and 6, right?
There was a rule though. If you lose to Baylor by 8 points, you're 4 and 6. You definitely would be thinking,
but they didn't.
Wow, what do we have to do in Big Ten? But they didn't. But you'd be counting numbers like what does our record need to be?
I would not be counting record numbers because going into the Baylor game, I knew the Big Ten was still ass, and I knew we were going to win more than 14 games in the Big Ten.
And if you're ever a bubble team, here's a fact: any Big Ten team that's ever finished above 500 in the Big Ten has made the tournament. So
that might change this year though, because this conference looks like bad.
I know, but like this year. I would like to think Michigan State should go like 13-7, 14-6 in the Big Ten. It's a lot of poopy bad teams at the bottom.
You play 20 games in the Big Ten?
Yeah.
Yeah. Michigan State, let's just stay on it. Aidan Chiles got the official commitment. Did it hit like crack when it came through?
No. Because I already knew. Just because I already knew it was going to happen for like a month.
It's just this built up anticipation of like, okay, when is
Did I watch his highlights again after that? Yes.
I did not watch his highlights.
Should add it to your list, Evan.
I'm doing a good job of not watching any highlights until a kid commits. So Michigan hasn't had any yet, so I haven't watched any highlights of people.
I will say this. The Michigan message boards had a I didn't actually read it or see it, but they had a 50-page thread about Aidan Chiles. So they're like
How
either
bad he is.
hating on him, like they're trying to come up with ways
Probably
about
on
how
3.
bad he is. Yeah,
Probably
trying to come up with ways of how this
that's-
kid stinks because they might be worried about it.
If any UM fan is losing sleep over it, that's just
They were
stuff.
50 pages.
Like,
Grant.
I'd be just be
Grant, I
happy.
do
Just be
say-
happy for them that they got someone.
It is nice that he's like super young. He's not like a senior transfer.
17
Not
years
like we
old,
can actually like
or 18 years
he's the
old.
face of our program for the next 3 years. So it is actually pretty nice to have that.
Yeah,
Feels like
and
RJJ.
to go Kool-Aid even more. I'm not just saying this to like build too high of expectations because of letdown, because I do understand the rebuild project going on. But there was an interesting discussion I heard on a podcast. I think it was Cover 3. They were talking about if you look at transfer quarterbacks thus far, for like in your first year in a system, do not have your expectations high because they just haven't hit. Like think about Joe Burrow, think about Penix. Like they were okay with Bo Nix at Oregon. They didn't hit the like top tier level until year 2. But you could argue that it kind of is year 2 for Chiles because it's not going to be a new system. He's just moving across the country to the same coaching staff.
There's some
Changing
wild
his jersey.
conspiracy theories from Oregon State fans that
Like what?
so the Mel Tucker got fired whatever weekend that was, and then that following game for
Mhm.
Oregon State was the first time that they announced that Aidan Chiles would be playing every third series the rest of the season. And so Oregon State fans are in a tizzy about it because they think that Jonathan Smith knew he was going to Michigan State and told Chiles. And so that's why they were getting him ready all year by having him play in big games, which is wild.
Wow.
A wild theory, but like if true, I mean, it's a chess move and I'm here for it.
I do get why they played DJU, but it is wild seeing the transfer portal quarterback rankings and Chiles is like up in the top number 1 on 247 and DJU is like 12. But like DJU was the starter the entire year.
Apparently
It is kind of I understand why it was that way because he's more experienced, but it is weird.
it was an open competition in the summer for them when I was watching like an old press conference, and it was like legit chance that Chiles was going to beat him out. But I just don't think you can bring in a 5-star transfer and just not play him. So that's probably what happened.
I'd be sucking the green Kool-Aid.
We have to.
It is basically
We have to
year
fill
2.
out a roster. You got to have an offensive line.
Grant, we get to fill out our roster. Our roster, first off, was pretty bad.
Guys are starting to come back.
And now, correct.
Jordan Hall staying.
I already know though.
Depth at position.
With your schedule though,
So important.
Defense looks okay.
if you give me a win total of 6.5, I'm hitting the over.
I think 8
I thought that.
is a decent chance. 7. I think
Yeah, that's what I'm
6
saying.
minimum.
No, 8, 9. Get 9.
There's
Say 9.
there's
Go the other
3
way.
auto losses on the schedule, and then there's a lot of toss-up games. Oregon, Michigan, Ohio State.
Too many question marks with Michigan. I don't think you can call it an auto loss.
Yeah, it's realistically probably a
It's a lot of questions.
Well, I don't know what Michigan's going to look like for now.
It's possible, and it's not even something to worry about because got a big old game. Let's do
We'll say it's
Michigan
nice.
basketball
It's
just
nice.
quickly.
That was a nice stretch. That's the first time we've talked nicely about Michigan State athletics in a year, so that was good.
Yeah, it's probably true. Damn.
Since the Sweet 16
Wow.
run, we have not had anything worth talking about.
All right, everyone, put your clothes back on. So Juwan Howard, John Sanderson got into-
Juwan. We're Juwan.
got. So it got even crazier, Alex, after you texted. We'll just quickly breeze through the timeline because it's a bunch of just nonsense. There was the dispute, allegedly not physical, HR investigation taking place. John Sanderson, 15 years, I believe he's been at Michigan. He was brought in with Beeline. He is most widely known for his off-season workout programs that basically gave I don't want to give him that much credit, but Nick Stauskas was not looking like an NBA player until he bulked up and went through his camp and also became a good shooter. But he has turned many players into men. Think about the Wagners. They came to Michigan from Europe super skinny, and he built them up into pretty jacked people. So he is known, very highly regarded in the industry. Apparently, it was a dispute because Juwan's kid Jace had a conversation with the trainer about rehab, blah blah blah, why he wasn't getting cleared. Allegedly, John Sanderson heard about this and was like, "This is why the accountability in this program's off, because we're like debating these things." Juwan didn't like that streaming match, but it is pretty crazy and it very clearly speaks to a divide between people in the program if you are reporting that to HR. Because from what I've learned from basketball reporters, that people like Robbie Hummels, people that were talking about this, maybe not Robbie Hummel exactly, I shouldn't attach his name, but people were saying arguments between coaches happen all the time. I mean, Trent Dilfer, they were talking about his game. He was screaming it as assistant coach on the sideline. Like, people argue, but to go to HR and complain basically is saying, like, I'm willing to put your job, Juwan, at risk because I'm just tired of this whole thing. And this is a guy who's been there for 15 years under John Beilein during the glory years of Michigan basketball. Sanderson did not go to the Iowa game, did not go to the Eastern Michigan game. Not even sure if he's still really with the program or what's happening. So classic Ward Manuel Friday night news dump said in a statement that he used the wording that the HR investigation was complete, that it was good, and Juwan is the coach. But then Juwan was asked after the Eastern Michigan game, and he said himself the investigation is still ongoing. So it's going about as poorly run as you could imagine up there in A2 when it comes to this situation. I don't know who to believe. You have the athletic director saying it's done. You have the head coach saying it's still going on. You have the strength coach not showing up to games where he goes to every game his entire career for 15 years. I don't know what's happening. And the insider, who's got a lot of publicity, Trilly Donovan on Twitter, known for telling. Why did you make that a face, Alex?
Because it's just a Twitter troll.
It's a funny account.
Twitter troll, Trilly Donovan, but he actually knows stuff. So I know. I know exactly who he is.
Yeah.
It's like a troll account who actually has insider information.
Plug and he wrote in a paragraph.
Throws it out there too. He throws all this information out there.
Yeah, he wrote in a paragraph. He basically said whether the investigation is the end of Howard or they wait till the end of the year, he thinks the writing is on the wall that this will be the last year he coaches for Michigan. I don't. I'm just saying what I read. I have no idea. I don't know, but the situation's not good. I can tell you that because a lot of people disagreeing. We got HR reports. Not great.
Juwan's feet was already hot, so yeah, I would be surprised if he's back. Barring like Michigan goes to Sweet 16, and then maybe
need more stability in that basketball program.
Their basketball program has been similar to our football program.
I just wish we even had because I didn't go there.
Good catch.
But thank you. I just
Butler fan.
Mainly just root for the football for the football team. I wish in this situation an athletic director would have a press conference to address the situation instead of releasing a little quote to the media at 7 p.m. on a Friday night. Like, just stand in front of a microphone and answer a question, buddy.
Alan Heller would have a press conference.
It's just be a man. Just talk. Just talk. People have questions.
Would you trade Ward Manuel for Alan Heller?
Yes.
Good man. Just wanted to hear something about how we have something better than you guys.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question about Michigan basketball since we're on the topic? Because I just don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
Are they good? Are they going to be decent? I know their record's shitty, but like, are they a tournament team?
My gut would say
By Evan.
No. By Evan. My gut would say no, but I think they're scrappier and play harder than last year. I just don't know if that's going to translate to a lot of wins per se.
Have you watched any games?
I watched some of the St. John's game, which was their peak, and then it went kind of downhill from there. I did not watch the Eastern game. I haven't watched their last. Oh my God, I haven't watched them in so long.
Evan, do you know anything about Michigan basketball?
I've watched them play once. I watched St. John's. That was it. I haven't watched their last 7 games. I probably will try to watch the Florida game on Tuesday just to see.
I think I watched them against
The question is, are they a tournament team? Grant said no. No, but
to your
scrappy.
point, though, it's kind of similar. All their losses are just because they can't close games either. It might be like a Spider-Man meme if it was a tie game between MSU and Michigan with a minute left. Just like who's going to lose it. Because they lost to Memphis by 4.
Level of opponent's a little different, but yeah.
They lost at Oregon by 3 in overtime.
They were getting pumped
That would
by
have been a
Memphis
nice
in
win.
that game, though, so they must have came back.
And
I
then
watched the Memphis
Indiana's
game
7-3, and they lost to Indiana by 3. They should have beat Indiana.
At home, right?
So I don't know.
But beat Iowa.
Yeah.
Iowa,
And then they
really
beat
good
Iowa
this year.
on the road.
Fran McCaffrey got ejected.
Yeah, but you never know. So I don't know.
I wouldn't be
No,
surprised.
I'm full on Butler.
They have some talent. Is Butler a tournament team as we stand here on December 17th?
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, they are. They are in Lenardi's last 4 in his first bracketology. So we were
Did
in,
that come out today?
like last week,
Are we on the bubble?
but we were in. I don't know. Alex, it's too early. It's December.
Look.
We're in, though. We're 9-2. We have an easy start to Big East.
Well, if we
play
beat
on,
Butler by 20, which is a tournament team, that is a hell of a resume booster.
no, we're a good resume team to have on there. But also,
Butler is the last
I wish
team
we could
in
have-
right now.
I wish we could have that game back because none of our players knew how to play on the road because they're all first time playing in a big game.
Oh my God, the
Home
whole
Georgetown.
the
We'll be
whole
10-2.
opening of Joe Lenardi's bracketology is about Michigan State falling off the face of the earth.
I think we'll be 10-2 after Tuesday, and I think skies will be as blue as they can be. Then it might go downhill.
Oh my God.
Quickly, let's touch into
Lenardi has us out.
incompetence. The
We're
Pistons.
out.
This is the worst.
We're not in.
This is the worst team of all time. Alex,
before
on the Pistons.
Before the Baylor game.
Evan, if you had to pick one person to fully take the blame, I know it's multiple people's blame, but like who irks you the most when it comes to where this franchise is at right now?
Irks me the most for the Pistons in a franchise I don't care about.
Coach, GM,
Does Evan even
owner,
know anybody on the
players.
Pistons? He hates them.
I would say it'll probably have to be Tom Gores, the owner.
Owner.
He controls everything. He's an easy point of the finger. And plus, other NBA franchises getting owners that are committed into excellence, and our owners just is committed to mediocre and doesn't do anything to fix it.
Alex, question to you. Same question. The one thing I do want to say to that is he did, now granted, I don't know who had what say in it. He was willing to spend the most money in the entire NBA history for a head coach. So I give him
fair.
credit for at least putting money into
That's
that.
fair. But to answer your question.
Bad pick probably, but
Yeah, I'm going to go that I'm just going to admit something. I got duped by Troy Weaver, I think. And it feels bad because I got duped by Mel Tucker, and now I'm getting duped by Troy Weaver. The guards are up for future guys. But yeah, I would say Troy Weaver because when you reminded me that we traded Sadiq Bey for James Wiseman and then had 17 centers on our roster, who builds an NBA team like that? And then I realized that it's Troy Weaver, and I got duped. I got duped by his ass, and I will not be getting duped anymore. So Troy Weaver, I'm pretty pissed about him.
yeah. And I would like to pick someone else for diversity, like coach, player, maybe, but it's Troy Weaver. I duped, hand up. I'm in the dupe club.
Duped
I
our
thought
ass.
the guy was
bad.
I remember we used to have those like the Reaper or like him on the phones, like Joe Dumars, like making trades. But it turns out it's easy to blow up a roster. It's a lot harder to build a roster. And he was good at blowing it up, but I don't know what he built. I don't see it.
He built a bunch of centers and a team that can't shoot and doesn't even play
In the
Jaden Ivey.
in the picks that he got that we praise him for were layups. Anyone could have taken Cade. Anyone could have taken Ivy at 5. Like he hit. The only thing I think that he did that was smooth was the Jalen Duren trade in and get him as well. It's crazy to think too, and I know we had to trade Jeremy Grant to get that, but if you just like took this team and left Jeremy Grant on it and some other people, like, we'd be better. I just don't understand. He never traded Bojan Bogdanovic when we were asked, and a bunch of NBA like playoff teams wanted him so bad last year when he was scoring 25 a game. And we're like, no, we're going to keep him because we're going to be good the next year. It's like wasted opportunity there. Probably could have got a late first round pick for that. Sadiq Bey in the moment hate it more now because we just cannot shoot the ball. And then extending Isaiah Stewart like he's a cornerstone when he plays like a wing and can't shoot threes is just, and it's not Stu's fault. They just ask him to be a superstar.
20 big men
and he can't shoot.
Oh my God.
And I like Asar. He can't shoot. We have a whole team that can't shoot. We are the worst. I think we shoot like 29% from three as a team. It's disgusting.
I like Asar.
It's so
good. He'd be a great player.
And I do
too. In a good like championship contending team, he would be an incredible piece.
I want you to know, Evan, I know like you tune this franchise out, which is good for like very smart for you. It's gotten so bad. The amount of jokes, just a couple of things I've written down that have happened during this stretch. Well, also think about this. They haven't won a game since the World Series was still going on, which feels like it was years ago.
The Pistons are actually the laughingstock of
tied with MSU. Pistons MSU, same wins in LCA this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun stat. It's so bad that Wingstop is offering out free wings if the Pistons win, and they still can't give them away because they won't win. And last night with the Bucks, Giannis had his kids on the bench celebrating with him with 4 minutes to go in a game. His kids were on the bench playing with Giannis, their dad, because the Pistons are that bad. And lastly, we have fans making transfer portal graphics that they're leaving the Pistons as fans, like saying, I am officially open in the portal. That's how bad we are.
Pretty funny. When was our last win?
October
28th. Michigan State football has more wins in that time period.
That's a stat.
Yeah. Michigan State has won more football games than Pistons have won basketball games in the last.
Evan may have frozen, not heard all those stats, but I just hope he's soaking them in.
You guys hear me?
This is nuts.
Can you guys hear me?
So do we relocate?
Toilet Dweller Cody McCrate's fantasy football team has more wins than the Chicago Pistons. A starting five of the 517 crew would have as many wins if we played all the games since they last won.
Since that day.
Yeah. You're as good as just putting us out there.
I just don't, and I don't know there is no light at the end of the tunnel. There's
they're
nothing
not getting better.
Like the prospect in the NBA pool this year is a bad draft from everything I've seen so far. There's no one you're tanking for.
Nope. And either way, we're not going to get the number one pick.
And they're not even winning. They're not even losing games close. They're just getting
destroyed.
dusted by teams.
I saw they lost to Milwaukee
and
146 to 113.
And Halliburton is an all-star player, and we drafted him above Killian. And we talked, I don't think we had a podcast yet, but we talked at least in text group that we wanted Halliburton over Killian Hayes.
We mentioned
and
that
it just sucks. The whole thing sucks. The whole thing sucks, dude. It's
Cade's leaving.
It used to be a proud franchise.
Cade's leaving. We don't play Ivy. We got 76 big men that nobody wants. Suck. Boycott. Boycott's on. Not to mention the Red Wings are deciding that they want to be poopy all of a sudden too. So
no, they're still clawing. They just have a lot of injuries and suspensions.
They lost last night.
They're battling through a lot of suspensions, Alex, and injuries.
Well, what we do have is the Lions again. They're back.
And
football's got a big game.
Give your thoughts on Michigan football because you will not be joining us if we do win next week.
Correct. What would you like me to say?
And where are you at? Where are you at on December 17th?
I just want to start with I actually despise. It's really awkward talking when Evan's a black screen. I don't know if he's there, if he's listening, or what's happening.
I don't think he's there. I think he lost connection.
But What I really realized is that I despise that they play their Big Ten championship game, their conference championship game, and then nothing happens for a month. Like I almost forget that college football's. It feels like it's over. Like what happened? How did
We
the
talk about
season
this
end? I
every
don't
year.
remember.
It makes no sense.
Dude, I hate it. It's so stupid. Like why?
College football is broken.
Dude, it is so ass backwards. It doesn't make any sense. And let's have the national championship
And with
game on a Monday
the
night.
transfer portal.
Yeah, and then all these players are leaving now too. So like, who's even playing in bowl games?
Like, did you see Malik Murphy for Texas? It sucks to be a kid.
Yeah, he's like, I have to leave.
I want to be with my team, but I gotta go.
Because the spots are gonna fill up. You gotta go get your new team if you're gonna leave. It's so dumb. It's just so stupid. The whole thing makes no sense.
The gap in games won't be as big next year, luckily for you.
Right. And
with the playoff.
I'm looking forward
Hello?
to that. Hey, Evan.
Hi, Evan.
I could hear you guys the entire time. I just don't get that.
Oh. Yeah, we couldn't see you or anything.
I have
You
not
can hear
been
us.
able to see you, and it's been spotty. I can barely make up the sentences.
Yeah, you're on 11%, so Ben really did not pay the internet this month.
I think it's because I've refreshed it, so it's re-uploading.
There'll still be a gap, Alex, but the first game next year is on Friday, December 20th.
Only
So in 3 days from now, there'd be a football game for the playoff.
2 weeks off. That's not bad.
And then the championship game's on January 20th. Oh my God. That's absurd.
Give them 2 weeks off.
January 20th? Football season is going to be starting by the time that's over.
College football ends next year on January 20th.
That's crazy. But like also like
Anyways, your thoughts
a
on the
chance
Rose
to
Bowl?
see Aidan Chiles in his bowl game would have been cool, but like I don't get to see that. Oregon State, do they have a quarterback for their bowl game? Interesting. Probably not.
Notre Dame, good game.
Well, they lost 2 quarterbacks.
Notre Dame doesn't either.
They lost their starter and backup. Anyways, Michigan and Alabama. My main thought would be that giving Nick Saban this much time to prep for a football game cannot be in your favor at all. Now that I've realized this gap and like had all this time to myself with no college football, I realize that's a lot of time for Nick Saban to be game planning and scheming up some good shit. So I would be nervous if I was you, personally. What do you want? A prediction? Keys? Like, what do you want from me?
I think he might just need to
All
give
right.
it all.
My biggest keys. Can Michigan stop Jalen Milroe running the football? Like, if the pocket breaks down, can they contain, get him on the ground, or is he going to run all over the place like Lamar Jackson? Because he has that capability. I don't know. Be interesting to see. He can't really throw except deep balls. Will Michigan stop deep balls? Maryland looked kind of good on deep balls.
Spicy nugget.
And then offensively for Michigan, what JJ am I getting? The one I saw against Michigan State or the JJ against Maryland and Penn State? Like the guy that just hands the ball off 65,000 times and then not really much throwing going on. And then secondly, on that note, like, can Michigan receivers create separation against Alabama's DBs, which are probably realistically NFL corners? And other than Roman Wilson, I don't think they can. So when I chalk it all up, I just wonder, is this just a bad matchup for Michigan? Because if I'm trying to break it down position by position, where does Michigan excel in comparison to Alabama? What is Michigan better at than Alabama?
Points per game.
And not stats, Evan. I'm talking guys, dudes. Where is Michigan better? And this is honestly a question for you, Grant. Like, can you tell me what should I look for? What is Michigan better at?
I'm just gonna come off. I'm gonna come off as
You're
biased.
gonna say
in my
everything,
answers, though.
but like that's fine. But I need.
Well, my take in my gut that I'm just hoping to put into fruition is that despite the slow back half of the year, which was largely predicated by scheme of certain games and what they wanted to do.
You're going to say JJ's better than Milroe.
I think JJ is going to outplay Milroe in the Rose Bowl, and I could see a path where Michigan wins the game because Milroe has
that's all fine,
minimum
and good.
2 interceptions.
But that doesn't. Can Michigan's wide receivers outside of Roman Wilson create separation? And I think the answer is no. And I think Nick Saban, with a month to prepare, knows that they're just going to throw to the tight ends, and he can stop them.
I think that's the chess match there, and I think that Loveland can have a Bowers-like game against Alabama. I think he can. I don't know if he'll be open enough to do it, but I think he's talented.
That you just made Loveland to Bowers.
Saban even compared him on the McAfee show. He said that 18 at Michigan is kind of like 19 or 19 at Georgia.
Evan
he said
is
that.
Gonna throw up.
Wow.
The best player in college football is uncomparable too.
And I agree. Bowers is better, but I think Loveland can have a nice game against them. The biggest question, Alex, it all comes down to is how are they running the football? Can they run against Alabama? And I think they could have some success in that. And if they can keep them balanced, then that's how their offensive passing game starts. But if they're just going to limit you to 3 yards a carry, then you become one-dimensional and thus very hard to score points against that secondary, because that secondary, you are correct, is full of draft picks across the board, and 2 of them at least will probably go in the first round. So, yeah, they're insanely good. And they have a true freshman
I'll tell you
who's an All-American.
Where Michigan can have an advantage. Michigan can have an advantage. JJ uses his legs because Peyton Thorne was able to scamper around a bit. And so if JJ can run, that would help tremendously open up everything else. I do wonder how's JJ's ball security if he's running the ball a lot. He is fumble boy for a reason. Just had to say that. And then
no one calls him that really anymore.
Well, I do. I'm just trying to think. If it comes down to it, and it's everything's even, the players are even, everything's good. It's just going to come down to at the end of the day, it's going to come down to coaching. And obviously, I mean, I don't think anybody in the world is going to take Jimmy over Nick. Maybe Michigan fans.
Skip Bayless.
I feel like you're overestimating.
I'm not. We know how important coaching is.
Like it's more on.
We know how important it is.
It's
game
more
planning.
It's more on what Tommy Rees is dialing up, and I'm not gonna sit here and like shake my boots. Like, what's their offense gonna look like?
I personally don't think Alabama's offense is going to struggle against Michigan's defense, like mightily.
That's probably the biggest place where we disagree. That's where I think this game does be close, and I think that's how Michigan would pull out a win if they are able to. Is that their
my thought process on that is because they have not seen anything remotely close to a Jalen Milroe who runs around like that. They've never seen anything like that. Not in the Big Ten. They've played a bunch of immobile quarterbacks.
Yeah. Well,
Talia is not a running quarterback.
No. But this still is, it's just practice. But if it does help that Michigan actually has a freak athlete mobile quarterback on their roster that can give them some looks in practice. Now, again, it's different than Milroe. He's obviously not Milroe, but it's not like it's Jack Tuttle running scout team. They can put Orgy back there and just basically tell him to run around for the next month to get them used to chasing. And this is the fastest Michigan defense I've ever seen. So it's not like Josh Ross chasing Milroe around. Junior Colson is lightning fast, and he should be able to run around and at least help.
I don't know.
I also think Milroe is fast, but I feel like he's not like a run first. I don't think
he's not a run. He tries to be a quarterback because that's what's going to get him to the NFL. But he has more than capable of running the ball. Way more capable than any quarterback you have seen this year. It's not even close. Go watch
Yeah.
his
No, there's
tape.
no
Watch some of
disagreement
his
there.
runs. He runs better than a lot of running backs. But
they do give up, I think, 3 sacks a game. I think a big thing too.
their
with
offensive line is young.
offensive line it had been shaky pretty much all year, but they really, really stepped up in the SEC championship game. And if that is a trend, if that continues, then it could be lights out for Michigan. But if that's shaky and was a one-off that they got up for that game, and Michigan's bringing NFL defensive line pressure, that is a chance where they suffocate them.
I think Alabama starts 2 true freshmen on the offensive line, and I think it's a testament that they're only getting better as it goes on. I mean, these are 5-star talented dudes, not 3-star squid like garbage players. So I'd assume they're getting better. My question to you would be, if a team were to blow out the other, who would it be?
I guess just based on history that I've seen against Georgia, the game, I would say Alabama, but realistically, I'm more closer to both could. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Milroe had a couple mistakes and Michigan had a pick 6 and they ended up winning by 14.
Evan?
Who has a better chance of blowing the other team out?
But Alabama,
Evan, would you be
win by
surprised if
28.
Michigan won by 14 or more?
Yes.
Grant, would you be surprised?
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
would you guys
'cause
be
I
surprised if
told them in that
Alabama won
regard.
by 14 or more?
Yes.
Okay, so Evans
I think
in
so.
a close game.
Just because I don't think they've. Yeah, because they just haven't. And Alabama has the ability. Maybe this is the game they put all together, but there's a reason they were number 8 going into last week. They haven't looked like world beaters the whole year.
Yeah, you could argue that
Hail Mary from Auburn.
They were
Peyton
they were
Thorne.
1 play away from not. They're not even playing them. Grant's getting up for the backup quarterback for Florida State.
Oh, Evan, I wish.
you could argue that
No, I like this. This is an awesome game. It's an awesome game.
It is.
you could
This might
argue
break the most-
Alabama struggles to get up for
People
big
saying-
games.
People are saying that this is
Or
going to be the
non-big
most
games.
watched college football game of all time.
It's probably going to be the most watched playoff of all time. That would not even remotely surprise me.
Okay, so the last time Michigan and Alabama played each other, I think I saw this stat. It was like 13.3 million viewers.
Touchdown.
And
I'm just this whole Alabama thing. I'm not disrespecting them whatsoever. They are a fantastic team, best coach of all time, best dynasty we've seen in our lives, probably in the entire sport, because of how tough it is with modern football. But if we're actually like running through the stretch where they got hot and everyone was like, "Oh, look out, the Tide are back," they beat A&M by 6 at A&M, and A&M is a dumpster fire.
Talented
They beat
football
Arkansas
team.
by 3 points. They beat Arkansas by 3 points.
not a
At
talented
home.
football team, Alex.
They beat Tennessee, Joe Milton, by 14. So I'm not. That's
Alabama
not like Hendon
was
Hooker,
up
Tennessee.
24-6 in that Arkansas game.
Alabama did dominate that second half of that football game.
They beat LSU, who has a Heisman quarterback, but their defense is disgustingly bad. So they scored 42 in that game. Credit to hold them to 28. That is impressive. They beat Kentucky, who's Kentucky, and they beat Chattanooga, and then they beat Auburn by 3. And then they beat Georgia, which was stunning. They beat them by 3. But I don't know.
Okay. Well, Michigan beat Iowa, a terrible football team, 26-0. They beat Ohio State by 6 points. And Ohio State had the ball with a chance to win. They beat Maryland by a touchdown, and then they beat Penn State by 9. Am I supposed to think that Michigan's just been blowing out teams and absolutely dominant the last 5 weeks too? Or are we only allowed to say that for one team?
No, it's fair to say, but also Michigan hasn't lost, and Alabama still does have that loss of Texas just walking into Bryant-Denny Stadium, beating them by 10 and dominating them for large parts of the
And
game.
what date?
And it's a different
What date
team.
was that? September 16th?
But it's still
On the
happened.
same day that JJ threw 4 interceptions against Bowling Green. So maybe if Michigan was playing someone of decency, they would have lost in September.
Okay, but they played Chattanooga in November 18th. So it all
I understand,
seems
but-
like schedules work.
I mean, you throw Michigan in a huge game in September and you don't know what happens. Michigan plays Texas in September. We don't know what will happen. So,
I agree.
if anything, Alabama scheduled a good team, then they lost, which sucks for them. But if anything, I mean, they tried.
So what are you leaving the people with?
I think that your bias
prepare
is
for your
showing because
vacation?
you think Alabama stinks, and I think my bias is
No, I
showing
don't.
because I think that Alabama's better than they probably are. So
I do not think Alabama stinks. I said I will not disrespect them at all. They have the best coach and best dynasty that I've ever seen.
this is my final point. Since the whole Stallions thing went down, Harbaugh got suspended. Since those games, the games I listed, Michigan has not thoroughly impressed me watching them versus how they impressed me in the beginning of the season where they were absolutely dominating football teams. And just for the record, I don't think this has anything to do with sign stealing. That is not the point I'm making. That would be ridiculous and dumb. But they haven't looked nearly as sharp as they did in the beginning there. And yeah, the quality of opponents increased. But it makes me a little nervous watching them. Alabama, you could argue the same thing. So then it all comes down to two things in football: quarterback, coaching. Grant goes JJ. I think I'm just going to go Milroe for this game. And then even if they were all square, or JJ was better, I think the game planning of Alabama is going to be overwhelming to Michigan because I watched Michigan's game plan for TCU, which was dog shit. And that's why they lost.
Well, they used dummy signs. They were smart.
I'm just saying, I've watched Michigan 2 years in a row with a month of prep come out and looked like shit. So I worry about that again. You'd think third time's a charm. I'm going to go that it's a very close competitive game and Alabama wins by a field goal because I picked Michigan every game this year, so why not pick against them once?
I thought it was going to be more based on your buildup.
No. I mean, these teams are close. Anybody with a brain knows that these teams are close. Would it surprise me if Michigan blew them out? Yes, I'd be stunned.
What's a blowout? 14?
Like 17 plus. If Alabama blew Michigan out,
Network would hate that.
I would not be stunned. Only because I've seen Michigan look like poo-poo in the playoff before. I've never seen Alabama really do that.
The odds would say that one of these games will be a blowout, and I would say that Washington, Texas is more likely to be closer than this game, but I could be wrong on that. Maybe
if I had to pick a team to answer my own question, if I had to pick a team to blow out the other, even though I don't think either will, I would pick Alabama.
It's fair. I mean,
just based on their track record. I'm excited to watch, though. I'll be home. I'll be seeing it.
There's Alex's Rose Bowl takes. Evan, we'll have to figure out what we want to do next week. Obviously, we're not going to do one over the weekend. Maybe we tap someone in to do it Tuesday or Wednesday.
I have a great idea what we would do, Grant.
Okay.
Great idea.
Okay.
You need to get all your Michigan men on the podcast.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that.
A freaking blue wall episode.
Dude, I thought this yesterday. I was like, how good would a Michigan Men podcast be?
It would. I think it would do bonkers.
It would do huge numbers because that's all what half our listener or 75% of our listeners are just Michigan blowhards.
I honestly do.
Take the group chat to real life, dude. Take it out of the chat.
Yes.
Okay, I'll ask.
And then the title of the episode, the group chat gets real. And then the Michigan Men. You have to be on it, though.
If any,
yeah, I'll be on it.
I don't think
I'll be the host.
Right. Yeah, Evan hosts. Oh, it'd be so good.
I will be the host. I'll be
dialed
Evan
into
comes
this pod.
Evan comes with a bunch of stats about Saban's dominance. He's like, "So, boys, thoughts on this?
Thoughts on this?
Dude,
thoughts on this one?
Dude, that podcast would be so good."
All right, it has to be. We went long again, but it has to be quick. What's your one wish this Christmas for your sport team as we leave? Mine's obvious. It's just winning the Rose Bowl. I'm not even going to ask for a natty. I just want to win the Rose Bowl.
Does it have to be realistic, or can it be anything?
It can be anything.
And I want to have safe travels, good travels, easy travels out there
that you never got.
Okay, then mine's easy. I want a Michigan State basketball national championship win. I want the whole thing. I want the whole goddamn thing.
Well, you're on the naughty list this year, so good luck with that.
I want the whole thing.
My top wish list is a Red Wings playoff series victory.
That's it? Reach higher, Evan.
Evan, no Lions, no one
in
did
the
Lions.
playoffs. That means we won. That means we're in the
A one playoff series win, that's all you need?
a playoff series.
You want to beat the Hurricanes in 7?
You must really be getting a
Yeah.
lot on your Christmas.
That would be a great 2 weeks. If we
That
win
would be the
Hurricanes
peak of your
in
sports
seven.
year, even though Michigan State will
That's
be
my
winning
Christmas
the national
wish
championship.
list. It's my Christmas wish list. You can't make fun of it.
I just think, why
That's
not
true.
say this? Win the Stanley Cup.
I want.
Why not make
I'll
the
be at
Stanley
the
Cup?
playoffs against the. Because then my heart's gonna get broken when we don't win it.
It would be much better.
That's like saying, Mom, I
get
want a new
that
pair of
far.
socks for Christmas.
that I can't wear with
I
my
do
new
like
shoes
socks.
because
I
I didn't
need
get the
socks.
shoes.
Well, I want a playoff series victory.
Honorary Lions playoff win,
Yeah, I would
please.
say Lions playoff win,
have
but
to
I
say
feel like
that.
that's automatic. Just need that.
Wow.
I'm saying automatic, like we're all thinking it. That's our group wish. Evan will probably be
All right.
roughing during.
Well,
our
that's
playoff game.
episode-
What are we kidding?
The Lions
that would
playoff game?
suck.
Yeah, probably.
The Lions? No, I'll take a half a day for that. If we play at 4:00, I'm reffing until 3.
All right, good. Just want to make sure
Hell
your
yeah.
priorities are aligned.
They should shut down the league if the Lions are playing
Do the
I'm
odds.
flying
for the
in.
day.
See you boys there. I'm serious. I will fly. If someone has tickets, I'm flying in.
I just hope the Lions.
$750 staying remotely.
Play on Saturday. Don't have to worry about it. Or be the Monday night game.
I don't want to play on Monday night. I just
The fuck you talking about?
Standing room only tickets and Ford Field for that game are probably
Evan, Monday night means I
$800.
can't fly in for the football game.
Oh,
Saturday game would be
you
ideal
can.
because then I can get blasted too. Yeah, all time weekend. Cheers.
All right. Cheers to episode 146. Have a good trip, Alex. Merry Christmas to the people. For all of us, I guess. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Because we're not
Christmas.
going to have one before Monday.
Christmas is Monday.
yeah.
Next. Yeah. A week from tomorrow. It's Christmas.